Hello, their tribe. We are Sonus de Gaia. Welcome to our Gaia live sessions. Today, we are gonna do our third interview of these episodes, and it's really special because today we are gonna interview an artist, a musician that is a really important figure in the Spanish culture. He's a master in fusion music and a pioneer on flamenco fusion music. He had played with Dolores, Camarón, flamenco singer, like legend flamenco singer, Paco de Lucía, also with Ketama, La Berbería del Sur, where his trio with Carlos Benavent and Tino Di Geraldo, and also as a soloist, he has more than 10 albums. And well,
he also played with Chick Corea.
Oh, really? Yes, he played with Chick Corea and record My Spanish Heart, the last album. Wow. Very, recommend you to listen to that. Anyway, with this short introduction, we want to say hello to Jorge, maestro, Jorge Pardo, ¿cómo estás?
Welcome to our Gaia live session.
Welcome, bienvenido.
Thank you very much.
Well, where are you right now, Jorge?
Well, I'm in a little island called Gomera, which is in the archipelago Canary Islands. So here it's nice, beautiful landscape, volcanic islands, and nice weather. So I'm having a few days off that I got, not so often that I do, but I'm off for a little while.
So you are in the middle of the tour, no? In the Canary Island.
Well, I'm like touring all the time, except for this last year that was, as you know, for everybody, all the world was a bit complicated, and so we had to stay home longer. But apart from that, I'm all the time moving. So I came for some gigs here in Tenerife for a flamenco festival with a lot of flamenco stars, and then I stayed here for a few days more.
Great.
So when did we met you last time? In Spain, right? In 2018, there was a concert along the coast near the beach. Yeah, and we saw your concert. That, yeah.
Oh yeah, in Galicia.
En el náutico de San Vicente.
Yeah,
what experience there,
nice
man.
Yeah, we
beautiful there.
drove a long way to see your concert.
It was funny because
3 years ago, right?
The day before we had a concert and Chinsen was there, and also another flutist from here. Well, we have the band in there, and next day with Jaime, you know Jaime, he drove us to San Vicente, and you were playing there with Danny Dominguez, Ton Risco, and what is the double bass player?
Joan Massana.
Yeah, Joan Massana.
From Barcelona.
Yeah. What
a great concert.
Great concert.
Really
in
good
front of
music.
the beach.
Oh, cool. Yeah, these guys are
amazing.
Yeah, such a great experience there.
Yeah. And how beautiful is the music that so inspired for all the audience and the environment too. It's very good concert that day.
Well, you know, concerts are. It's like all together. It's like I usually say when there are so many things that they have to work together. The composition, starting with the compositions, the communication in between the musicians, if you make some improvised music, then you have to really get lost of yourself, no? And so follow your intuitions and everything, no? So then the audience is there too, and then I mean, it's everything all together. It's like a big ceremony that you feel you keep growing and feel up, and then when this is like a miracle. So, but
Yeah.
it's as I made this thing called Trance. It's really a trance sensation, no? That you lose your control, you lose your, and then you get lost into all that magic world.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I think the audience or even me like to know, do you have classical music influence or background when you start to play flute or saxophone? Like classical music training. Oh, still here.
The guitar, but very soon I changed into flute, and then I keep playing the guitar too.
Wow.
But then my instrument was flute, and I like mix formation in between not much classical music, but I studied. The ideal was the popular music, and then flamenco and jazz was my ideal, really.
Wow.
Jorge, when we met because I think in 2018 you came 2018 you came to Taiwan, and we have the opportunity and I have the honor to play with you, and for 1 week were like some master class, and we play here with Joanna Chow in the beautiful theater. And I remember something you mentioned, like how to create the trance. And Trance is also the name of your movie. You already have a movie about your life that is amazing. So please, people, check it out, because I didn't watch it. Yeah, I couldn't. I tried to find it. Maybe later you can tell me or let us know where to get it. But I want to ask you 2 questions. I mean, what is the meaning of trance for you? And the second question, are you nervous before any concert, even today, after 40 years playing?
Well, you know, it's difficult to say. Both of questions are difficult to say because they belong to that kind of feelings that you cannot express very well with words. No? That's why they are important, because there are no words really for that. No, for me, trance is as soon as the music, the sound starts in the band, in a gig, in the concert, then it's like starts another world. Starts another world where the things that you have to do, or the things at home, or the problems, or all that thing disappear, and then starts another world that then you follow your intuition, and you go deep in those feelings, and then everything seems to be easier than in a normal life, because you just have to follow whatever is happening. No, of course, to do that in that way, you have to have a very profound, deep formation too as a musician, because you have to get completely control of your instrument, of the music is the sounding of the chords, the scales, everything has to be under control in the way that it doesn't bother you. You can really then get lost of those knowledges, and then but the knowledges are there. So, but then that's the way you get deep into that and deep into the music, and then when you are in that situation, then you get in trance. You get in trance. That means for me that nothing else exists in that moment. Even the time, as we know, that we feel the time usually, that time goes, that has no importance, has no meaning that time. And then, of course, when you get to answering the second question, your second question, Jose, is when you are going to the stage to get for that trance. Of course, you feel like some, not nervous, but some anxiety. Anxiety, I don't know how to say.
Anxiety.
Or that is going to happen. Something fantastic is going to happen in a few minutes. So then you are like have that kind of tension, no? But as soon as the sound starts, then disappear.
Yeah, I remember that moment in El Náutico, San Vicente, that we were there, and you invited me to go to the stage, and I was freaking out, like, oh, what? I didn't expect that. And I remember there was a gitano, a gypsy percussionist, a friend of us, I think from Los Potros is the band, I don't know, and I have a cajon here, we were looking for a cajon, and he offered his cajon. I have a cajon here. So we went to the stage. It's something like, Jorge, when we are in the stage, in that case I was, you told me, no, you just, don't worry, you didn't play this song, but just, it's gonna be fine. You transmit some trust, I feel your trust, and some energy that, I don't know, when we are there, everything was boosted, and for me it was magical, that experience, and was something remarkable in my life, that moment.
Yeah, sometimes, musicians, we have a lot of worries, because I don't know the song, this key is not very good for me, the tone, my sound, the monitor is not okay, I cannot hear the piano player, a lot of different worries, no? And sometimes those worries that can eclipse the good feelings you have, no? So sometimes if you just get off those worries, no? The monitor, we have no monitor. Okay, no problem. I don't know the song. Okay, no problem. The key is not very good for me. Well, something is going to happen. Something good is going to happen. So if you point that way, then everything seems to get easier, no?
Yeah, more light, right?
I just wonder, as I watched the concert video from 2019 that you play in a jazz concert, when you are playing alone on the stage, how do you create those improvisation so long as a flute player or a saxophone player, because usually we need the background music or we need a band to support the rhythm or the chord progression. So I just wondered, how do you create those kind of solo?
The story.
Music.
How do you create the story?
Yeah.
Well, I can say that it took me a lot of years to get to that. It's not that easy.
Yeah. Or how is your discipline, like daily routine on the practice?
Well, it takes a while. It takes some time, some years to test yourself and to see that the audience can understand what you play, which is it's fundamental, no? Because at the last point, music is communication. So if you play great, you play something fantastic, but the people doesn't get it, then it's not worth. So you have to work to play something fantastic, but to make it to the people that believe what you are playing, and that takes quite a long time. To test yourself, for example, as you said, the flute lines are no chords, no rhythm. But then, for example, when I do that, I hear inside me, I hear like a full orchestra playing with in my flute. No? My flute is a full orchestra. It's just percussion, it's everything in there. I just have to try to show the audience that
it's kind of like a huge imagination in your brain or in your mind when you are playing as a soloist. Yeah.
And then you develop these stories. Anyway, I have to say too that I have like a big repertoire of course, of flamenco phrases. Flamenco in that point is for me is a big world inside, of feelings, and apart from feelings, the phrases, musical polyrhythms, and all that richness. I use all that to tell a lot of different stories. I could be playing alone for hours.
Oh. Wow. So it would be a lot of practice in the back, behind.
Yeah, that means of course that if you love music, then you are practicing all the time. Even if you are not with your instrument in your hands, your mind is always thinking in the melody. How can you play in a different way with different accents? You will always have some work to do. No? So I think that's along the years and years and years. Well, and then you have it.
Yeah, that's also like as I perceive right now, like the practice is not only being with your instrument. When we talk about practice right now, it's not being in your room all the time with your instrument there. Also that, of course, but it's constantly like between listening music, go to jams, collaborate with other musicians with another perspective of music. Like all elements of music, rhythm, melody, like combine, since everything like a moment of practice and learning process. That's also how I perceive it. I don't know what you think about that, Jorge.
Yeah, definitely, it's like that. You not only learn how to play a guitar or a flute, or you learn how to live with it, how to make your living with it. That means, of course, to get some gigs, you know. But of course, like a life experience, know how to grow with your people, with your family, and take the happiness and tristezas, sadness, no, everything, and how to get along and to control all those feelings, no. And then music has to do a lot with that. So you have to grow along to learn the scales and the different tunes and this and that, the rhythms, and then you of course learn how to live with it too. So that takes a while. It's not like being, as you said, in a room practicing your instrument. You have to go out of the room and then experience the life, how to live with your instrument and with your family, and to get some money out of it. You know, there are a lot of things that you have to do.
Indeed. So we all know that Chick Corea passed away 2 years ago. Can you describe how is the relationship with him, and also how do you learn from him, from those concert or recording before?
Well, I met Chick Corea in Madrid when I was like 8 years old or something like that. Very young. We were playing in a jam session in a jazz club in Madrid, and
wow.
His spirit is being always like that, very communicative, very interested for any kind of music, and of course he was in love with flamenco since he came to Spain the first time in Spain, and then after that, and then we met in Japan in another tour.
Wow.
And we always kept much in contact with the music, and then so at last we were playing together, touring together for a few years. We made some world tour, like in I think it was 2012 or something like that. And then we, you know, it's one of those cats that you always point on him because he has that kind of thing that you want, that you like, no? That is virtuosity with his instrument, but communicative too, and communicative with the people, with the music, always like in the point of always learning, you know, trying to grow, and so it's a big admiration for his personality, for his music, and then I was lucky that I was close to him many times. We did a lot of music recordings, gigs, so fantastic. And of course, he started telling stories, and then his stories is about all these cats like Thelonious Monk, you know, all the jazz stars, you know, like Miles Davis, you know, it's crazy hearing him to Art Blakey, you know, all these cats. He's one of the cats that he played along with, has a lot of stories with these jazz stars.
Yeah, and also like when I remember that he was a really huge fan of Paco de Lucía, and when you were with the Sextet, the Sextet is the band like Paco had with Jorge, Ruben, Carles, and other musicians, because you had, you know, like the Paco's band for I don't know 20 or 25 years around that, playing together, and touring around?
Yeah, sex about 18 years.
18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really impressed, for what you were doing. And also, like in the last, I want to ask you about the last album you record with him, for example, with Chick Corea, My Spanish Heart. Oh,
I think his internet.
My Spanish Heart. Yes. Can you hear me?
I didn't get the
Yeah. Let me ask you again.
The last part of the question.
So, when you record My Spanish Heart with Chick Corea, I saw some videos where you were in the studio. How was the process of the recording? How did you, because you met in that studio?
Well,
with different musicians.
Different that reads perfectly, and in the first time, more the time you learn the music by heart mostly. So with so many musicians in the studio, we were recording My Spanish Heart. Then of course there were a lot of arrangements too, a lot of papers to read and everything, no? And but it's fantastic. But she loved to write music and it's everything, no, and very interesting. But for me was a point one day I was like a bit, not very happy with myself because none of reading music, I'm not used to that, and so my mind was going to explode, and I knew that I was not giving in my music what I know I can give, So Chick looked at me and he said, "What's happening, Jorge? Everything is all right?" And I said, "Yeah, band is fantastic, music is great, everything is fantastic. Is the only thing is that me is not I'm not being fantastic to all these, because my limits, of technical limits of." And so he said, "What do you like?" I said, "Well, but I cannot read all this music, And oh, you are uncomfortable with that?" I said, "Well, a little bit, yeah. Forget about reading. Play whatever you like, That was his style, He has a plan, but the plan is not important, the can say So that was another fantastic thing of him. And then the recording was outstanding, was brilliant, with all that he's got. Was a few days very intense, very, very, very intense, but very satisfactory too. So it was fantastic. Was this guy? A lot of good musicians. Was this? I don't remember. Well, all the cats were fantastic.
If you go to the My Spanish Heart credits, you want to check the cats there. Yeah. But very international, right? From Venezuela, the percussionist, you from Spain, and even Rubén Blades, man. Like Rubén Blades was in the album, collaborating too. Yeah. Amazing combination. And Jorge, one more question. As a soloist, I love your music as a composer, not only as an improviser or collaborator, of course, but as a composer, you are great. And is anything you are working right now, like in any personal, your music or your band? Because I saw you playing with Tom Risco right now, or Danny Dominguez. And in what projects are you involved, or what are you doing right now?
Well, I do a lot of things, and I never stop composing. So I have a lot of new music that I'm working on. The only thing is now this last year, as you used to work for to make some compositions together in a CD, you know. So you have like few compositions, 10 or 8, 10 compositions, whatever, to put into a CD. But now these times, CDs is like it's not happening, no. So I'm a bit lost to put my music into something that is that you can. I don't say you can order your mind for a few compositions to make a work, you know. So I'm a bit lost in that now, but it doesn't stop me anyway to compose and arrange things and recording things of my own. But no records. No, now it's this film trance what I'm doing, and just maybe some live CDs that are releasing now. But I need to make maybe in this next year to all these last compositions that I've made during these last years to make a work with all this. You will listen to it.
Yeah, of course.
I hope.
Yeah, of course I will. I am the first one to buy it. Yeah. Okay, Jorge. And one more question. Like to finish this interview, that's great. Like, do you wanna say anything, any suggestion or advice to the new generations of musicians that are like making bands or try to make music and make like their projects alive and keep going and don't be lost or giving up, because this is like a process of a life trip,
Yeah, well, when you are I don't know, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18, and you like music and you get crazy with any kind of music, then you have a lot of ideas about what's going to be your life, if you are good on that, if you are going to get money out of that, if you are going to be famous, if you are going to be a big seller, or you are going to be just a street musician, or you have a lot of wonderings, a lot of questions, worries. I would say first of all that to these young musicians, follow your intuition. Follow your intuition is for me it's important, because it's the way you love what you do. You have to really love the music. That's the first thing. You have to really go for it. All the worries are after. If you are going to get money, if you're going to be famous, if you are going to do something good with the music, that's must be a bit calm down all those questions, all those wonderings, and then the first is really love what you do and enjoy what you do. That's the only richness that you really have at that time. Your richness is with your spirit, the what you are able to do and what you want to sound, and that's your little treasure that you have. If you don't work on that, you won't have ever the other consideration. You won't have money. You won't have famous. You won't have fame. The first thing is love what you do, and then from that you have to be lucky and keep developing all the other things in life, no?
Yeah.
Get a family, to have some loving care from another person. I mean, all those things. But the first of all is if you love music, you want to be a musician, just love what you do. That would be the first consideration for all these young guys, no?
Wisdom words, maestro. So thank you so much for your time, brother, and we hope
good to see you.
You keep chilling in La Gomera, and the concerts you are doing go fantastic.
So enjoy you can be in so beautiful.
Well, it was very, very nice seeing you so long distance.
Yes.
Technology can put us together to have some conversation. I see that you keep very handsome. And,
you too. You look very charming too. Yes.
Doing music, so fantastic.
Yeah, we hope we can collaborate again, maestro.
Yes.
Whenever you want, you will have me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's a great words. Just say to the people that Jorge recording Osonda Foresta is in our first album. You can check it out. And guys, thank you so much for watching us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell. And Jorge, un abrazo muy grande. Te mandamos mucho amor, love, peace, and health for you and your people around. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Gracias, maestro.
Gracias. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes.